Our purpose is to build a holistic voice that creates a community of like-minded, healthy people for a healthier planet. Our goal is to unify the community, nourishing the growth in mind, body, spirit, awareness, and wellness. We want to engage our community and visitors so they have access to powerful momentum of the holistic presence in our community. We do this by creating awareness through interviews, providing education and awareness of cutting-edge modalities. We also provide access for consumers to quality natural health and wellness professional and practitioners and like-minded business that support this community. Thank you for listening with us on Healthy Planet One. Stay with us for the next interview with our next holistic guest.
Welcome, everyone, to Healthy Planet. We are so very committed that we really address this theme called renewal for this month. And I'm really excited to have the speakers that we have right now. We're going to be interviewing Kristin Burton. And she is, well, in my world, she's the rock star of thermography. So welcome, Kristin. It's great to have you with us.
Oh, thanks, Patricia.
Let me tell her, you like that rock star of thermography?
I love that. I'm going to keep that.
So this is all about starting your journey of health discovery today with thermography. And we're going to actually have two parts to this interview because there's so much to say. And Kristin, really, I'm so thrilled. You know, you and I have been working together for about 3 years now, and it's been a wonderful relationship. And I'm just so excited to now share with you and with our listeners on what thermography is and all that. But let's get started and hear something about you. How in the world did you get started in medical thermography and what it is?
Okay, well, let me tell you what it is first, because it's such a kind of a new thing to people, even though it's been around for thousands of years. So thermography is a way of looking at the human body. It's an imaging technique. So there's x-rays and there's ultrasounds and there's MRIs and there's CT scans and there's medical thermography. Now, the thing that makes medical thermography different is that it's non-invasive. It doesn't put any rays in the body. It doesn't look on the inside. It actually looks on the surface of the skin and tracks with a really fancy, expensive camera, an infrared camera. And I have the best one. We'll talk more about that later. But it looks and tracks skin surface temperature differentials to tell us what can be going on inside. And it's looking for inflammation. And of course, that's been a buzzword for many years now. And so when we can find inflammation, oftentimes we can find kind of the earliest little spark of something that may be going on that's going to challenge your health. Maybe not right now, but maybe in, I always say 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years, 50 years.
Right.
A spark of inflammation is going to challenge you.
And I remember, you know, when we met, Kristin, I myself have gone through breast cancer twice in my life. And both times I did the mammography. And when I met you, I was so thrilled because of the fact that you use your thermography. And I think this first part, we're really going to be focusing on breast health and the importance of what we can do and why thermography plays a role in that. I love, you know, knowing what I know about the body and how the skin really reflects what's going on inside. The fact that you're able to read what you can read with the thermography is a great gift for people. And that's why I was thrilled to have you start to work with us and work with our clients. That right. Makes a big difference.
It's been an honor. And your clients are some of the most educated people. They come to us knowing what they want. They come to us with a holistic mindset, a more natural mindset. And it's really a pleasure to work with you. We also have several other locations around the state of Florida. And it's amazing how this is starting to catch fire now as people start to get more of a proactive, like we say, health discovery approach for their wellness. They start to seek out and find thermography, and that's really exciting.
Right. So, one of the big questions that I get, and I know one of the things that really impressed me in working with you is that you started studying medical studies in the beginning, right?
Yeah, I was pre-med in college, medical technology. And so I got all that. I got 5 years of college. I was on the 5-year plan. And, studied biology, pre-med, medical technology. And before I could ever actually become a medical technologist working at a hospital, I pivoted very quickly when my roots of taking care of yourself holistically just changed me. I realized, wait a minute, I want to stay with my roots and my history. I grew up in a family that was very holistic back in a time, the 60s and 70s, when it wasn't cool to be holistic. My mom sold Shaklee vitamins way back in the day. And so I was growing up that way. And yet there I was in college in pre-med. And so before I could really do anything, I wonder if anybody remembers Clayton College of Natural Health. I started doing correspondence courses with them.
Sure, yeah.
And took all of that medical knowledge that I had gotten in college, and to combine that with what I was learning holistically, it was making sense to me. I mean, some people just learn the holistic side, but I was actually kind of cross-referencing it with the science that I had learned in college. And wow, it all just made sense. And that's been my life now for the past 30 years.
And then you started working with Dr. Carol Chandler, right?
I did. I was a wellness coach forever, and just helping people kind of understand their health and where to go with, the health discovery process before health discovery was a buzzword. And Dr. Carol was a thermographer in Lakeland, and I didn't realize that Dr. Carol was kind of on the cutting edge of thermography. She was working with some really high-level people. She had attracted some attention of the people who were bringing thermography to the forefront in the world. And now, years later, she's considered the mother of modern-day thermography, because she took what those people were doing back in like the 80s and 90s and brought it forward into something that the average person could use. And that it didn't have to be back in the halls of the science, universities and things. It was something that she brought to the people. And so to be able to live in the same town as she did, I would send all my coaching clients to her. And then one day she said, would you like to learn thermography? And I said, absolutely. And I became her thermographer, ran her business for many years, and continue to work with her to this day, training new thermographers from around the world.
Well, there's various thermographers, and then there's thermographers. Can you say a little bit about that?
Yes, because not all thermographers are created equal. When they come to us to learn and to buy their cameras and to become thermographers, we teach them to be the professional elite thermographers worldwide. They come to us from all around the world. They're attracted to Dr. Carol's philosophy. And so there are other thermographers out there who aren't learning the way we teach. And they kind of, for lack of a better way to put it, they kind of point and shoot. And they really don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand why they're doing it. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of thermographers out there that have the kind of equipment that we have. Ours is really expensive. Ours is really high resolution.
It's the top level of resolution, yes, as I understand, right?
It is the tippy top. The average thermographer is imaging with about 30,000 pixels. Lucky thermographers are averaging about 110,000 pixels, and my camera and several others around the world, maybe about another 25 around the world, have about 307,000 pixels. And that's, of course, what we're imaging with.
And that gives you a detail that you can really hone in on. Is that correct?
Incredible detail. The other cameras are giving you big blobs of light color. And although that may be helpful to spot inflammation, the pattern of the inflammation is just as important as the inflammation itself. And so we can see to the width of a human hair with our imaging. And so we can follow lymph chains, and we can follow vascular patterns and things that other cameras just only hope, when they're pointing and shooting, to find some big blob of color and say, well, it looks like there's some inflammation there. We don't know what. We're able to get more. Yeah.
Right. And the other thing that really impressed me in working with you, Kristin, is that because of your background and because of the technology, the advanced technology that you have, you're working with the clients that I have sent to you has been phenomenal, because you're able to help them to understand help them to look at here's what there is, and then we can talk about alternatives that they can cover with their practitioners that are qualified to do that. And then also the fact that you've got a panel of doctors. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so it's not me, the technician, who's interpreting the images. We
Right.
actually have a whole staff of MDs who are specially trained thermologists. So they're medical doctors. A lot of them have their own practices. Most of them are functional or integrative type doctors. So they're more naturally, holistically minded. And they have been trained specially to be thermologists. And when you're a thermologist, you can interpret those images. They use a special software. They don't just look with their eyes. They measure with a lot of really complicated math. And that all boils down into an interpretation that gets sent to the client. And so that is amazing information coming from some of the top minds in medical thermography today. And that's sent right to the client and right to their practitioner, like you, Patricia. We send you a lot of reports, and that way you can work with your clients and monitor that inflammation. You deal with inflammation in what you do, and you want to watch that change and get better with your amazing treatments.
Well, and that was one thing that really impressed me when I went to the event that you had, the conference that you had, and met some of those doctors and had conversations with them. And it was really exciting to see them looking in a way that our mainstream medical doctors and even some of our Chinese medical doctors don't have a clue. And to see what they're doing with the technology that thermography brings to the table. It was very exciting. And then this brings up our multi-million-dollar question, and it has to be addressed, because when I speak with women about getting a thermography for their breast, there is a question, well, insurance doesn't cover it.
Yeah.
They only wanted to cover mammography. What's up with that?
Well, we have found that in the world of natural health versus regular Western healthcare systems, that when you're embarking upon a voyage of health discovery, that's usually on you. So insurance they cover mammography, they cover sometimes ultrasound, but they usually don't cover medical thermography. Now we're hearing more and more that there are aspects that can be covered of medical thermography, but by and large, no, it's not. But a breast imaging is $199, so it's not going to break the bank. A full body, we have all kinds in between, but a full body is right around $550, and we paint you from head to toe. We see every little piece of you. But unfortunately, insurance hasn't embraced it, but fortunately, insurance hasn't embraced it. Because when they do, they can change it. And they give us all kinds of rules to follow that sometimes will take away from what we want to do holistically. So I'm kind of grateful to be in the cash pay world, actually. And, we do give our clients the codes, the insurance codes and things, just in case they can get some money for what they're doing.
Okay, because this is important, because October is coming.
Yes.
And cancer and pink ribbons will be everywhere. How does breast thermography fit in with this October message? And then after we're finished with this, Kimberly has a sharing. So go ahead.
Sure. So October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And that's great. But we want to have a message of breast health. And so Breast Cancer Awareness Month is a lot about getting your mammogram, and that's fine. But what we understand about mammography is that it is a process and a device that is designed to try to detect cancer. Okay, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to detect cancer.
Right.
That when it comes to health discovery, we are not cancer discovery people.
Right.
We are health discovery people. So what we're trying to do is help educate women on how to take care of their breasts, how to keep them healthy. And a lot of women look at us and say, how can I make my breasts healthy? I just get a mammogram once a year and cross my fingers and hope I don't get that letter in the mail and hope I don't get that call. And I say, okay, so health discovery is about learning what kind of bras to wear, what kind of deodorants to use, we teach breast brushing, so move lymph. We talk about diet, exercise.